Là chủ doanh nghiệp, chắc hẳn bạn dành phần lớn thời gian cho việc lập chiến lược bán hàng, thực hiện các chiến dịch marketing, tuyển dụng và đào tạo nhân sự, quản lý hệ thống và bằng mọi cách để có thể mở rộng thị trường, gia tăng lợi nhuận. Nhưng thực sự những việc đó có phải là mục đích cuối cùng trong vai trò là chủ doanh nghiệp hay không? Và chủ doanh nghiệp có đủ thời gian để hoàn thành tất cả giấc mơ của mình hay không? Vậy chủ doanh nghiệp nên quan tâm đến điều gì? Thực tế thì ở vai trò là chủ doanh nghiệp, bạn không cần quan tâm nhiều đến việc kiếm tiền. Bởi vì khi doanh nghiệp của bạn lớn mạnh, điều hiển nhiên là bạn sẽ có rất nhiều tiền. Làm thế nào để doanh nghiệp phát triển và tồn tại hàng trăm năm? Ngay bây giờ, điều mà bạn cần phải suy nghĩ là làm thế nào để doanh nghiệp có thể phát triển và chuyển giao qua nhiều thế hệ, ngay cả khi bạn không còn làm việc nữa. Tập trung vào con người, mà cụ thể là xây dựng văn hóa doanh nghiệp, chính là điểm khởi đầu để phát triển một doanh nghiệp có thể chuyển giao qua nhiều thế hệ tương lai. Văn hóa doanh nghiệp chính là nền tảng để xây dựng và phát triển tất cả các lĩnh vực trong doanh nghiệp của bạn. Văn hóa doanh nghiệp giúp chúng ta tuyển chọn được nhân viên phù hợp với doanh nghiệp. Thực tế thì chọn đúng người, đúng việc chính là yếu tố hàng đầu để có được đội ngũ chiến thắng. Đây cũng chính là thước đo thái độ, yếu tố chiếm 70% sự thành công của doanh nghiệp. Văn hóa doanh nghiệp giúp chúng ta tuyển chọn được khách hàng, đồng hành cùng phát triển. Suy cho cùng, việc kinh doanh sẽ không thể diễn ra nếu không có khách hàng. Doanh nghiệp sẽ có được những khách hàng trung thành khi doanh nghiệp cùng chung hệ giá trị với khách hàng. Một giá trị vô hình gắn kết đem lại lợi ích cho cả hai bên. Đối tác, nhà đầu tư là yếu tố tạo nên sự phát triển vượt bậc về quy mô cho doanh nghiệp, giúp doanh nghiệp có thể nhân bản và tăng lợi nhuận theo cấp số nhân. Chọn đối tác dựa vào văn hóa doanh nghiệp là chọn hệ giá trị để đồng hành, phát triển, giúp doanh nghiệp được chuyển giao qua nhiều thế hệ. Văn hóa doanh nghiệp đồng thời giúp chúng ta tuyển chọn được nhà cung ứng để họ cùng với chúng ta tạo thành một chuỗi giá trị đồng nhất, hiệu quả và đem lại giá trị cho xã hội. Hiểu được điều đó, Actioncoach CBD Firm, một trong những firm hiện đang là điểm sáng nổi bật trong hệ thống Actioncoach toàn cầu trong việc xây dựng văn hóa doanh nghiệp, không ngừng hoàn thiện mình để tạo nên những giá trị bền vững và thịnh vượng cho cộng đồng chủ doanh nghiệp ở Việt Nam. Với tầm nhìn mang lại những trải nghiệm tuyệt vời, wow cho khách hàng và wow cho chính những nhà huấn luyện, Actioncoach CBD Firm cam kết mang lại những giá trị cao hơn sự đầu tư của khách hàng thông qua các hoạt động tái đào tạo, huấn luyện, tư vấn của mình. Với đội ngũ tận tâm, tích cực và thành công, Actioncoach làm việc dựa trên nền tảng 14 giá trị văn hóa nhằm đảm bảo người học được tiếp xúc với các nhà huấn luyện của Actioncoach, qua đó tạo ra những thành tựu to lớn trong hoạt động kinh doanh, tiến gần hơn với việc đạt được mục tiêu theo mong muốn và định hướng của doanh nghiệp. Trong hành trình phát triển, chúng tôi đặc biệt quan tâm đến nguồn lực tương lai của đất nước, nhằm đào tạo một đội ngũ lao động trẻ có tư duy tích cực, thói quen tốt nhằm tạo ra một cộng đồng trẻ chủ động cho sự phát triển của đất nước trong tương lai. Đó chính là cộng đồng lao động trẻ Ownership Community sẽ được ra mắt vào ngày 12 tháng 5 sắp tới. Chúng tôi luôn hướng đến các hoạt động phát triển cộng đồng, góp phần làm cho thế giới trở nên tốt đẹp hơn. Chúng tôi tài trợ và huấn luyện miễn phí cho tổ chức dạy con tự kỷ ở Việt Nam. Chúng tôi cũng bảo trợ thông tin và truyền thông cho tổ chức này. Website của chúng tôi dành hẳn một trang mục để truyền thông cho hoạt động từ thiện. Chúng tôi hiểu rằng nguồn lực của xã hội cần phải vun trồng từ nhỏ thì mới có nhân tài. Chúng tôi liên kết với tổ chức giáo dục uy tín nhằm tạo nền tảng cho một tương lai khai phá tiềm năng, kiến tạo nên sự thịnh vượng cho thế giới. Vậy, làm thế nào để xây dựng văn hóa doanh nghiệp chiến thắng? Thứ mà có thể tồn tại mãi về sau, ngay cả khi bạn đã không còn điều hành doanh nghiệp hay khi bạn đã rời xa khỏi thế giới này. Lời giải của bài toán nằm trong chuỗi sự kiện doanh nghiệp gia đình và chiến lược tăng lợi nhuận theo cấp số nhân ngày hôm nay. Chào mừng quý vị đến với sự kiện xây dựng văn hóa doanh nghiệp được tổ chức bởi Actioncoach CBD Firm. Và ngay bây giờ là diễn giả của chúng ta. Chào mừng Coach Cynthia Wihadia.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to welcome to the stage, Miss Cynthia.
Good afternoon. How are you? Fine. Fantastic. Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for having me here. First of all, can I get an idea of the people in the room, please? How many of you are business owners? Business owners. Very good, very good. How many people are employees? Employees? Good, good. How many people are business owners but are considering to close the business and go back to being an employee because it's very, very stressful? Okay, well, I hope through this workshop this will not happen, okay? But first of all, I'd like to thank you for the commitment of being here. I know it's not easy leaving your business for half a day. I hope after working with us and learning with all the stuff that I'll be sharing with you today, it will be easier for you to leave your business for half a day. I've been in Vietnam for a day and a half now, and last year I was very fortunate. I can take 100 days of vacation out of my business. I own a firm in Actioncoach as well, and the firm is called Actioncoach South Jakarta, and I have to say that I think we've done very well over the last 1 year, simply because I think we have built a great culture. And the people in my organization are passionate to do their best. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about that culture. I'm not sure if is there going to be a video that, Lam, is there going to be a video first before the slides, or can we just bring up the slides for my presentation? Okay, so a little bit about myself. In the Action Coach world, I've been fortunate to know Action Coach for the last 10 years. I operate in Jakarta. Before I was an Action Coach, I was working for a multinational company in Singapore as well as in Jakarta for various roles. I was doing sales. I started as a salesperson, and then I went into marketing. So I moved to Singapore and started doing regional marketing for East Asia. And then I wanted to learn how business works. Because as an employee, sometimes you just get the one side of the business that they assigned you. So I became what they call a business turnaround specialist. I fixed various businesses that was not profitable, and after usually about 16 to 20 months, they assigned me to a new business. And in the 16 to 18 months, we turned the profitability from negative to positive. But what I understand about improving businesses is that when you want to improve a company, it is not really just about the strategies. If you think about it, a company is just made up of people. Actually, the word company comes from the military. And when you say a company, in French, it's compagnie. Compagnie is people who eat bread together. So company is actually people. So when you say a company is good, that means the people are doing good things. Because the logo cannot do anything, right? The building cannot do anything. It's the people inside. When you say a company is not doing good, that means it's the people, starting from the top all the way to the bottom, is not pulling their weight, is not doing enough effort to make sure that the company gets results. So in my business turnaround days, what I started working on was not really the business strategies. What I started working on was the people, building the right culture of winning, building the right culture of doing our best, yeah? Building the right culture of having high standards of excellence when you work, yeah? And this is what I felt was really important, and I have to say I'm quite pleased at the end of my turnarounds. The business did not go back to the original problem after I left. I think there's something about leadership that I learned, that if I lead a team and it is successful, that's only half the success. If I leave a team and it continues to be successful, that is what I call real success, right? But sometimes as a leader, we have our ego, right? Or maybe only I have ego. How many of you have ego around here? How many of you, oh, good, I have friends, good. Yeah? Sometimes we have our ego. We want to be needed. And if the business can run without me, it seems like I'm not important anymore. They don't need me. And some of us are getting to an age where being important is really, really important. Right? we come to an age where it's so important to feel significant. But that's also the reason why we cannot let go of our business. So I'm very pleased to say, in both my turnarounds, the business improved, continued to improve, and we groom leaders from within, even when I was finished. So the reason I became a coach, especially in Southeast Asia, I'm very passionate about coming around Southeast Asia and developing the mindset of business owners in Southeast Asia, and also giving you proven systems from around the world to use here. Number one, well, Vietnam is doing very well right now. I have to say, congratulations to all of you. I think your economy is doing very well. Indonesia needs to learn a lot from you. Yeah? And I always use Vietnamese as one of the biggest threats to Southeast Asia, because Vietnamese people move fast. Vietnamese people grow very well, yeah? However, in Southeast Asia, we still have to say that our economy is still, our people are still very cheap in Southeast Asia. Yes? The cost of labor, the cost of things in our countries is still very cheap. And if it's very cheap to buy a thing, that means the person making the thing is also being paid very cheap. Yes? Agree? Our brothers and sisters who are out there in the factories making things, cooking things, growing things, are being very cheap. Now, that's good for all developed countries, because they can use us as a cheap labor source, use us as a cheap material source. But if you think about us, the other problem is we like to have kids, right? Our population is growing all the time. Look at Indonesia, 250 million people. So here's the problem. We earn cheap, our businesses are valued cheap, but our kids are multiplying a lot. Is that a problem? Yes or yes? We have more mouths to feed, right? So if we don't get smart about how we do business, if we don't get smart about how we position our talent, ourself in the Western world, yeah, we don't want to keep being the cheap labor source. Do you agree? Do you agree? Yes. And this is why I'm very passionate about sharing this global knowledge with you, my brothers and sisters in Southeast Asia. Now, if you see that I have an American accent, yes, I do. I grew up for 12 years since I was small in America. I'm Indonesian, yeah, and I've lived also in Singapore, in France, in America. Okay, just 4 countries. Okay, so I've also enjoyed coaching coaches around the world. Some of the countries that I've coached in France, I don't know, now about 15 countries. France, I have clients in France, in the UK, in Luxembourg, in the US. Right? And I always say, well, if an Asian talent can go global, why can't your businesses go global? Right? So hopefully, I don't say this to impress you, but I want to impress upon you that in our part of the world, we have what it takes to go global. Do you agree with me? Yes. How many of you want your business to grow bigger and perhaps in more than one country? Yes? Fantastic. Okay. Therefore, we need to think global, even though we act local. We need to be using global systems. We need to be using globally proven systems instead of trying to create something locally. Leveraging. Yeah? And so that's a little bit about me. So if we look at about business, the question is, how do you increase the value of our business? We talked about how do we increase our value as Asian talents, right? But how do we increase the value of business? If you look at how we increase the value of business, right? The formula, in a simplified way, is profit times a certain multiple, right? First of all, your business needs to be able to be profitable. Sure, yeah? So, for some of you who say, oh, I need more revenues and profits in the business, good, no problem. Profits is very important. In making your business more profitable, of course, you need to know marketing, how to find your uniqueness, how to retain your customers, operational efficiency, finance, business management, business finance management. If you don't like numbers, you shouldn't be a business owner, because what we're trying to make is more numbers, more money, right? Money is a number, so you gotta love numbers. And of course, people management, we will talk about today. But the definition of success in a business, in my opinion, and in my observation coaching clients for the last 10 years, is not just money. And this is something we have to understand. And money is good, but if you define the success of your business only in terms of revenues and profits, this is where a lot of our country people have a problem. Because a good business is not just a business that makes money. A good business should give you money and time. Right? So if you are still running your businesses and your creative entrepreneurial mind is still being used to own one business or a couple of businesses, and all those businesses always need you every single day for it to run, then you don't have a successful business, even if you're rich. What's the good of being rich? You know, a funny story. There's a very, very rich entrepreneur. And he, well, you know him. His name is Tony Robbins. How many of you know Tony Robbins? Yeah, okay. So he told a story in one of his videos. He said he was a young speaker. You know, these celebrity speakers, you know, they have to be the one on stage, okay? So he was on stage, and he was in, I don't know, Europe or something like that. And a few months before, he just bought a house, a mansion actually, yeah, in California. And it was a beautiful mansion with beautiful swimming pool, a beautiful view. But he was always traveling everywhere, speaking all around the world, right? And one day, he got a phone call from his housekeeper, his maid, okay? And then he picked up the phone call. You know, it's like, you know, when you're traveling, you didn't get enough sleep. You know, it's not your bed. You're not feeling that comfortable. He got a phone call from his maid. His maid said, "Mr. Robbins, I just want to let you know I am so grateful that you hired me as your maid." He says, "Well, why? Why are you feeling so happy?" "Your house is beautiful. I cleaned the pool today. And then I also did the gardens. I cleaned your kitchen. And because I had some time, I was looking at the view. The view of the ocean is so beautiful from your house. And your pool was fantastic. And the weather is great. You live in a huge, wonderful house. I'm enjoying your house." That was his maid. In the meantime, Mr. Entrepreneurial is making money, traveling the world speaking. If you think about it, you know, even if you are in a service business like me, right? What I decided was I build a firm. Right now, as I speak now, my coaches are working in Indonesia, helping this business to make more money. My business will run without me. Can I also be a speaker? Yes, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing this, right? But even if I stop speaking, even if I stop my professional service, me delivering the service, the question is, will it run without me? And I have to say, in my company, yes, it will. It will. So that's why Actioncoach is not a celebrity speaking industry, because we apply what we teach you. What we're talking about today, we'll talk about building culture. We'll talk about empowering a team. What I speak of today, I do in my business, even though it is a service business. So some of you might be accountants, legal experts, consultants out there. It's okay. Trainers, maybe some of you are coaches out there. Fantastic. I challenge you the same. I challenge you to have a business that runs without you. Let's not be like Tony Robbins, okay? He's tired, and his maid is enjoying his house. That's crazy, okay? So today, what I promise you, a couple of things. I promise you one today, I will be your educator, not your motivator. I don't like being called a motivator. Yeah? Motivation is good, yeah? But we need more than motivation to get things done. I will share with you some of the best practices of people in business. I will share with you some of the tips and tricks. And today we'll have a lot of time. So what I also promise you is we will have some live coaching today. So there will be microphones being passed around for questions. I will stop in various parts of my presentation to allow you to ask questions, to allow you to summarize, because I want you to get more than just sitting there looking at me for 4 hours. Yeah? Now, so number one, I promise you I will be an educator, not a motivator. Number two, I promise you that I will be your coach. I will ask you uncomfortable questions. I will try to take you out of your comfort zone. For some of you, it will be frustrating because you know there's certain things you haven't been doing. Is that okay? Is it okay that I'll be your coach today? Yes? Okay. Number three, I promise you that you will walk out of today with some clear strategies that you can implement tomorrow. Tomorrow, you can implement this right away. So this is how practical today will be. And number four, promise you at the end of the day, I will also show you for your next step of learning what kind of programs are suitable for you. For some of you, you need more business education. For some of you, you're ready for private guidance. For others, it's not about you. It's about your team getting coached because your business is big enough that if you are the only person getting coached, it's slow. Okay, we've been doing this. Actioncoach has been around for 25 years. This year is our 25th year. We will be having our anniversary in August. We know that there are businesses where the owners get coached, but there are some businesses, like maybe some of you out there, it's time for your team, your managers to get coached. Okay? So, that's what my 4 promises to you today. Does that sound good? Yes? Good. So I want to show you a business owner's test. I want to know, you said business owner. So every business owner, please stand up. If you're a business owner, please stand up. Business owner test. Yay. Business owners, business owners. Oh, admit it. If you're a business owner, stand up, okay? All right. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say a story. If you can do it, stay standing. If you cannot do it, please sit down, okay? So, here's the first situation. It's Monday, and you decide to wake up at 11 o'clock because you've had a long weekend, and you just want to relax. You just wake up late, and it's Monday, and there is someone who can open your office, and office goes on without you, even if you are still in bed. If you can do it, please stand up, yeah? If you cannot do it, sit down. If you're the first, okay, there she stood down already. If you cannot do this, okay, the key is only with you, okay, sir? Okay, fine, right? Good, okay? Wow, that's a lot. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, no worries, good. If you can do it, keep standing. Okay, so these are the people that can still be in bed at 11 o'clock on Monday, and your team is opening the office, your team is serving your customers, yes? Yes, okay. Then you say, oh, you call the office and say, you know what? I don't think I'll come into work this week. Because I decided I want to go to Halong Bay for a week, you know? And maybe Bali. I heard Bali was good. So I don't want to come to work this week. You take care of the office, okay? Take care of the customers. Okay, click. If you can leave your business for a week, please stand up. If not, sit down. A week, yeah? And I don't mean Tet holiday, yeah? I mean normal week. Good, all right. So you come to my country, you come to Bali, you start having all this fun, you get good food, and you said, I'm going to stay here for 6 months. In fact, what? Six months. It's Bali. You got to stay more than a week. 6 months. Okay, everybody stand. Okay, we have people standing up there. We have 3 ladies standing up. No. If you can do it, can you do it? 6 months? Oh, no. Okay. You can do it. 6 months. Okay? Anybody else can do it 6 months? Oh, it's very difficult with the lights. Okay, one person. Give them a hand. One person can do it for 6 months. Congratulations, sir. Well done. 1 year? Can you do it for 1 year? Okay, no problem. 6 months is great. Fantastic. Okay, please sit down. Thank you very much. Okay, 6 months. Okay. Now, what did you learn about your business? What did you learn about yourself as you're doing these exercises? You know, so this whole, I'm trying to get you the feeling of, look, some of you, I know many of you have lots of money. Vietnam is at a stage where people have lots of money. It's kind of like Indonesia in the 80s. You know, economy just piling in, lots of money, price of properties goes up, everybody gets rich. And then you forget about time, right? Because in our culture, time is cheap, right? The maid is cheap, the driver is cheap, our staff is cheap, right? So we think we're cheap, right? Our time is cheap. So let's think about our time for a minute. What is your salary as a business owner? And I don't mean the cash you allocate to yourself every month. Let's calculate this, okay? The salary of a business owner, and feel free to write or whatever you need. This is your real salary, okay? Is your profit divided by the number of hours that you work. That's your salary. Feel free to calculate that now. So, if let's say your business is 1 billion dong and you work 200 hours a month, so 20 days times 10 hours a day, for example, then what would be your profit? Anna, could you help me with a calculator? Because we have a lot of zeros, okay, in our countries. So what gets me confused is the zeros. How much is it per hour? Right, is that 500,000? How much is it? 500,000. So your salary is 500,000 dong per hour. Happy? For some of you, yes. For some of you, no. 500,000 dong per hour. That is, in Indonesian rupiah, around 300. Is it? 300,000 rupiah. So 500,000 dong. Is that like $30? $20? $20. $20 an hour is how much an Australian window cleaner makes. Okay? Or an Australian waiter makes. Waiter, you know? Maybe $15, $20. When I was working for Carl's Jr. in 1992, yeah, I was 18, I was making $5 an hour. 1992. $20 an hour is how much a blue-collar worker, maybe a junior worker, makes in the West. Do we have a problem with that? Are we happy with that? No. Come on, Asian people, we shouldn't be happy with that, okay? Okay? I am your Asian sister. Okay? I'm expecting Asian people to improve our own value. Is that okay? Can I ask you to do that? Yes? Because we all have the same 24 hours a day. We and the Western people, we still 24 hours a day. Our kids want to play with us is the same type of attitude as Western kids, right? Our kids need the same thing, right? So when you value and you're happy with this, okay, we have a problem. And this is why we will always have to work hard to make the same amount of money. But now, thank goodness for all the airfare, thank goodness to all the openness, and thank goodness for how the developed countries welcomes tourists. They're so wonderful. You know, I go to the UK all the time. I enjoy going to the UK. We like to travel. Airfare is getting cheaper. Everything is nice. So even if we live in a local, we live in our country, we also like to spend money abroad, right? So we need more money. Is that correct? Now, the way we're going to if I want to increase my salary as a business owner, and this is my salary as a business owner, what do I have to do? If this is the formula, then I have two options. What do I have to do? I have to increase my profit or lower my hours or do both. It's called an and. Both of them. Right? So that's why I say the success of your business is not just about increasing profit. That's only half the equation. Wouldn't it be great if you can increase profit and reduce hours? Then you're laughing. Okay? I hope I've driven the point across, and I'm glad I'm speaking to my neighbors, right? Yeah, because this is different. Yeah, when you have someone from, I look at things as I think Indonesian cheap labor is actually cheaper than Vietnam. So I'm not here to say that you are bad. I'm here that I say my people need to learn this stuff as well. That's why I've been building my firm in Indonesia. So, increasing profit, that's important. But we also need to reduce our hours. And when we reduce our hours and when we reduce our involvement as a business owner in our own business, it helps us also increase the value of our business. Because now, let's look at this side, the multiple. See, let's say your profit is 100 billion dong. The question is, when someone buys your company, or maybe you want to IPO your company, or maybe you want to ask investors to buy part of your company, or maybe you want to share your shares to your staff, okay? There has to be a valuation of your company. So it's not just your profits divided how many shares. That's not fair, right? The multiple measures the future potential of your business. And the multiple is affected by two things: the amount of opportunities in your business and the amount of risk in your business. Opportunities. The question is, does your business still have room to expand? Some of you are having businesses, you're so busy being in the business, doing everything for 10 hours a day, yeah, that you don't have time to think about the expansion strategy. You don't have time to think about innovation. Your competitors are passing you by. And then all you say is, I have to give a discount because I have nothing else that is unique between me and my competitors. Why? It's not because your business is bad, it's because you didn't have time to think. Yeah? When business owners don't have time to think, the employee also suffers. Because maybe there are some things that you have to do to improve your office, improve your employee benefits, improve your employees. But you don't have to think. You don't have the time to think. That's why they also suffer. And then they leave you. And then they start a competition. Why? Because they don't see the company growing. They see maybe the revenue growing, but they don't see the office being better. They don't see the empowerment happening. Yeah? The CEO is always the boss. How can I be a CEO? If I am a good talent, I wouldn't want to work in a place where I will only be a manager and that's it. The owner won't let me make any decisions because the owner is the boss. The owner is always right. That's why good people, young good people, leave you. The ones that stay are the ones that have nowhere else to go. And they're not the ones that can help you expand your company. So these are some of the risks that you're having if you're involved. Innovation. So the other factor that affects multiple is risk. When the business is dependent on owner, that's a huge risk. That's one of the biggest risks in business, is when your business is dependent on the owner. Okay? When you're not there, nothing works. Or when you're not there, nobody wants to buy. Okay? This is a problem. Okay, so that's why today we want to talk about building a business culture so that your team can be empowered to take on after you. Depends on key clients. That's also a huge risk. If you have, a business, what happened in the Indonesian government over the last, 3-4 years, we cleaned up corruption. And there was a few clients, I remember in that era, that says, oh, my only clients are government projects. So after there's no more corruption, it's so hard to sell. Because now they've got to open up everything for tender and everything. And they were panicking because all this time their business was reliant on only 3 or 4 clients, those big projects. No systems, no plan. This is also a huge risk for your business. Now, we're not even talking about early retirement, okay? When you say, well, how many of you want your business to run without you? Yes, everything, right? You might be thinking, well, what will you be doing? Oh, you'll be sitting on the beach in Bali, with your fan and your drink. No, I'm not even thinking of that, yeah? I'm thinking about we accidentally cross the street and we accidentally get hit by a car, and the next day we cannot work. So I'm not even saying that we want to take early retirement. But the fact is, after, all of us have lost a loved one. And death isn't always something we can plan, right? It's never something we can plan. Illness is never something we can plan, right? Needs. Right now, one of the coaches I coach in the UK, the mother just got a stroke. The mother is 85 years old. That's not something you can plan, right? So how do you get your business to be prepared to go up and run without you if things like this happen? Do you agree? Yeah? So it's not always about early retirement, because some of you are thinking, oh, I don't mind working forever. I'm still young. It's okay that my business doesn't run without me because I can still run it. Yeah, okay. But what if you get sick? What if you have a family need that you have to answer to? What if you die? Okay? That, I don't care how old you are, that can happen. Right? So this is why we're talking about increasing the value of your business. So, as you know, how many of you have heard of Actioncoach or have been to an Actioncoach seminar before? Okay, a few of you. Okay, good. All right, so some of you already know our concept, the 6 steps to build a business that runs without you. That, if you want to know more about it, talk to my coaches, right? Talk to the coaches here. By the way, I just want to, all the action coaches, please stand up. So I just want you to introduce yourself around the room. Just everybody please stand up. If you're from Actioncoach firm, just wave your hand so everybody knows who you are. Okay, so if you want to know more about the steps, thank you guys. If you want to know more about the steps, how to build a business that runs without you, just go talk to them afterwards, okay? But today, we're going to focus more about building a culture, okay? But we have that, okay? So profit times multiple. So the idea is, how do we guide you to increase your profit, but also increase your multiple, okay? So the question we want to answer today is more about culture, right? Because again, it's not about the strategies only, but it's about how to get people to love your business the way you do, right? Is that interesting for you? Yeah? Because sometimes the owners are the ones that love their business. How can you leave your business to a professional team? Yeah? And that professional team could be your children, but could also be a really professional team. You know, it's funny, we coached a family business. Well, there's lots of family businesses in Indonesia. And sometimes I look at the children of a family business. See, how many of you are from family businesses? How many of you are founders of the family business? Ah, okay, very good. Now, and it doesn't mean to be old people. It doesn't need to be the older people, yeah? Because if, like me, I am the founder of my business. Technically, if I have kids, right, this is my family business, right? I don't have to be, you know, an older person, okay? So family businesses. Most family business want their business to go down to their children, right? So I met this family business. It's very funny. They're in the oil, you know, the oil that you put in your car. They distribute that. So big, big business. And the fathers were the founders. You know, there's 3 or 4 of them owning different companies in Indonesia. But the children, my God, when I look at the children, you know, they are so spoiled. The children are so spoiled. They're like, oh, you know, we have to go shopping at Louis Vuitton. And that's why we can't attend a sales meeting, because there's a sale in Louis Vuitton. Seriously. They said this in the workshop. They said, we can't attend a sales meeting. Louis Vuitton is having a sale at 3 o'clock. And then they giggle. And daddy is going, oh my God. You know, and literally I remember they were so frustrated that their kids cannot take over their business. You know, and then the kid left. After lunch, the kid probably had a sale at Hermes or something like that that they had to go to. But after lunch, the father was very, very frustrated. He said, you know, this is the problem. My kids are not committed. And I said, well, sir, you've got to understand the difference between ownership and management. Okay? Ownership, the inheritance still goes to your kids. No problem. But if they do not have the talent or the interest to manage your business, the question is, are they the right successor for your business in the management side? See, we as founders, we do it all, right? We own it and we manage it. But when you're thinking about succession plan, here, I want you to break, all the family business owners, I want you to break the belief of the only person I can delegate my business to is my kids. Can you just cross that out? Yeah? Please cross that out, because for many of you, that's not possible. You know, most kids these days, they just want to open a cafe, or they want to go into some kind of technical startup, technology startup. Yeah? They're not interested in your rubber plantation business, in your wood business, in your whatever construction business. It's not sexy enough for them. Okay? And why force it? Okay? So how can you leave your business to a professional team? Well, the answer is in this formula. The formula for change is be times do equals have. Results comes from having the right culture and then having the right strategy. B, how you think, the culture, how you feel every day, the attitude that you bring to work. This is the mindset. The do is the strategy. Every consultant can give you strategies, right? Marketing, that's all the technical stuff. The have, the results. So, again, today we have lots of time, and I want to just engage you in a discussion. The first thing, if you want to hand over your business to a professional team, the first thing you have to answer is the have. Not even the mindset. Not the strategies, definitely. That's the last thing you have to worry about. The first question is, what are you building? what is this business? What is the results that you want in this business? What is this business going to be like? If it's just a company that will make you rich, nobody will be passionate to help you. Does that make sense? If your company doesn't mean anything, it is just a money machine for you and your family, why should I be passionate to work for it? I might just work for it for a salary so it feeds my family, but why should I be passionate about building it? So clarifying the have. Then after we clarify the have, so I'm gonna go through all this in more details. This is just a broad strokes, right? So today I want to help you clarify your have through coaching you in different ways. Then the second thing is the be, right? Before you get to the brain, by the heart, okay? The be. What is the attitude of the people? What is the culture that we need to build so that we will achieve our dream? Okay? Look at military, for instance. We want to win a battle. We want to win a war. Of course, you have to learn how to operate a gun, but what's more important, operating a gun or having courage? Courage. Right? You know how to operate a gun, but oh my God, it's an enemy, go hide. You still lose. Or you know how to operate a gun, but I don't work together with my team because I don't like my team. You still die, right? So number 2 that we have to focus on is culture. What is the culture? My experience building my business and turning around different divisions, that is the first thing, okay, after have, that is the thing that I work on. I have fired people who are top performers, or I have let them resign because they did not have the right culture. Okay? And this is something that's really, really important. Because I can teach you skills. Yeah? And in many cases, I know how to make money. But if you do not want to work with the right attitude, that's something I cannot teach you, right? Right now, in my organization, in the last 18 months, because I am in the process of leaving my company as well, December 20th is when I leave my company, yeah, this year. So the last 18 months, I've been more serious, I've been more focused on putting things together. And ever since I've taken over the management of my company again, I've put a little policy on recruitment. In the recruitment process, I always ask my candidate, what do you want to achieve out of your life? Right? And if they don't know, I do not hire them. I don't care how good their skills are. Sometimes I even ask that before reading their resume. Yeah? If they don't know, I don't hire. Why? Because it's very hard for me to motivate people who don't know what they want. Does that make sense? Yeah? I'm in the coaching business, but I don't feel that my role is to coach my employees, okay? Of course, I develop them, but if I'm hiring people that I need to coach, they're called clients. They're not employees. They should pay me money, right? Number 2, if they say, yes, this is what I want, then I make sure that they understand that my job is to help them achieve their dreams. So even if they say, what do you want to achieve out of life? I want to start my own business. Fantastic. When? 3 years. Great. What kind of business? They tell me all about it. Great. So what do you need to achieve in this job to make you confident that you'll be a good entrepreneur? I need to learn about business. Okay. I need to learn about marketing. Okay. How do you need to work? You're being hired for a sales position, for instance, right? How do you need to work every single day to make sure that you are ready when you open your own business? I need to be disciplined. Good. I need to be target oriented. Great. Is it okay if I increase your target? Because you say you want to be an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneurs need to know how to sell. Entrepreneurs need to be disciplined. Is it okay if I challenge you? Yes. Is it okay if I tell you to be disciplined? Yes. Okay? Why? Because you want to start your own business. So I know that not everybody's going to work for me forever, but in the time, 3 years or so that they work for me, they're going to deliver their best. That's my goal. That's what I can control. If they leave, that's fine, right? I don't expect lifetime retention. We're not Japanese here, right? Okay? So it's just a fact of life, right? But in the 3 years that they work for me, they know why they work. They know why for them, not for me. I can't motivate people with my vision. What I can motivate them is their vision. So yes, of course, I tell them about Actioncoach. Of course, I tell them about my vision for Actioncoach, right? And some of them get inspired by that. But I also want them to be inspired by their dreams. And they have to work very hard because they want to succeed, not because they want to satisfy the boss. Does that make sense? Right? It's a psychology game, right? Because I really don't think my dream is more important than their dream. Does that make sense? Okay, right? I told you, I'm going to give you strategies. Tomorrow, you can be doing this to your candidates, right? Okay, so where was I? So culture. So let's watch a little video about culture. Yeah? Let's talk about some culture.
In the world I live in today, I feel very strongly that culture is more powerful than strategy. As we head towards recovery, far too many organizations are obsessed with strategy. And when I say culture, I mean the way we get things done around here. A couple of weeks ago, I traveled to LA, to the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. And you know, the best hotels in the world, what they do brilliantly is they make the check-in process just disappear. So I'm coming in with my bags, I'm really tired, I know I've got a board rehearsal in 2 hours. And all that's on my mind is we're rehearsing in 2 hours. Somehow the doorman takes my bags and probably sees a luggage tag, and before I know it, I get to the desk and to just sign here, welcome back to Beverly Wilshire Hotel, Mr. Carriel. Well, it stunned me, because I've never stayed at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. I said, I'm very sorry, I've never stayed here. And she went click, 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 click on the thing. She said, June 1988. You were with a group of 12 from Marks and Spencer, who I happened to be working for at the time. Now that just knocked me out. And I said, you know what, that's what I call service. And she said, you're so pleased, you look so pleased, I'm going to upgrade you to a suite. So I'm winning. I go upstairs to my suite and I'm going to have a shower, get changed and go and moderate this board rehearsal. But before I do, I tweet. I just tweeted the experience to the very few people that follow me. I said, that's what I call service. Jumped in the shower, came out. As I picked up my iPhone, there's a tweet back. It's from Ben Dodds, General Manager, Beverly Wilshire Hotel. Thank you ever so much for that fabulous comment. In fact, I'll come and find you and thank you in person. I thought, I've never seen that happen before, where you tweet something into the ether and an organization is so agile, so focused on the customer, so customer-centric. I disappear to our rehearsal. We're an hour in and I call a 5-minute natural break. Can we change the black coffees? Can we change the water? The hotel staff come in their black uniforms with Beverly Wilshire Hotel on the front and they change away and someone takes my black coffee and he puts a bottle of Dom Perignon champagne in front of me. I said, I'm really sorry, thanks for the offer, but I just wanted a black coffee. He said, Ben Dodds, General Manager, Beverly Wilshire Hotel, thank you so much for the tweet this morning. Now, that just doesn't, is that culture, is that training, is that process, is that procedure, is that KPI? It's culture. The epilogue to this is that by the time I get back to London, I've got a ton of tweets coming through commenting about this. And there's one guy who comments, he says, I've been staying at the same hotel in London for the last 6 years. Every week for the last 6 years, I turn up on a Monday to the same hotel. I get a slightly different experience. They ask me every Monday, have you stayed here before, sir? Culture.
So you can have all the technology, you can have all the business strategy, but it boils down to, does your people want to do it? And again, look at how business works. To me, business is like a tree. You know, it's just, I like simplifying things. You know, we have all these business concepts that's, to me, a little bit too difficult to understand. Business is like a tree, right? If you want fruit from your tree, in business we call the fruit of the tree, the fruit of our business is our profits, is any financial results from your business, right? That's the fruit. Now, in order to have a fruit, you need to have a branch, right? You cannot have a fruit just hanging there in midair. It must be connected to a branch, correct? Now, the branch is called your clients. And we get them through marketing efforts, sales, customer service, those kinds of areas in the business. But the branch, in order for you to have a healthy branch, you need a healthy bark, right? And this is what we call our operations. But the bark will not be healthy unless it is run by the root, which is what we call our people. If the root of your business is rotten, if the culture of your business is rotten, you can expect that whatever SOP, ISO, everything you put in there. How many of you have ever put a system in place but nobody gets it done? Nobody implements it. So your system is fantastic. You've got IT system, you've got SOP, right? ISO. But if the people are not in the same culture, are not aligned to get it done, you still will not get an efficient operations. And because your operations is not running well, customer satisfaction is affected. And because customer satisfaction is affected, then your money is affected. So inasmuch, many of you say, I want to get coached because I want the external results. This is the external results. Your finance, getting more customers. This is external. This is the result. But you got to look at the internal factors. Yeah? You got to look at, do I have the bark and the root in place, healthy in my business? Because you cannot get the result. Yeah? This is the effect. But this is the cause. You cannot get the effect without the cause. Does that make sense? And of course, the people is important, and the people starts with you. The culture starts with you. See, in business this is what we call the business cycle, right? First is the owner. Then you have the team. Then you have the business. Then you have the clients. And then the business. So the owner's job is to align his vision to the team, to make a vision that inspires the team, right? To create a culture that everybody can embrace together, to get people excited to work for the company. Agree? Yeah? If the owner has done a proper job to develop the team, to empower the team, then the team job is to take care of the clients, sell clients, yeah, customer service the clients, okay, make the clients happy. And if the clients are happy, the results of your business, your revenues, your profits, is good. And of course, this goes back to you as the owner. So when we talk about culture and having a better business, where does it start? Where does it start? Owner? Yeah, starts at the owner. See, I'm learning Vietnamese right now, so I ask the question in English, you answer in Vietnamese, and I know that the word for owner is, what is the word for owner? Okay, that's not what you said. Okay, I mixed up again, okay? Anyway, so owner, team, clients, and business. This is a cycle of business. Many business owners, before they realize this, they blame it all on the team. Why isn't my team working well? Why isn't my team having a sense of ownership? Why isn't my team engaged? Why isn't my team selling? Why aren't they filling up their KPI? Oh, it works once. Can you click to the next slide, please? Right? So I want to talk to you about the golden circle. Yeah? When you want your team to run your business, when you want your team to be more professional, there's a gentleman called Simon Sinek, and he is a very famous leadership speaker. And one of the videos that made him famous was a famous TED Talk, TED.com, TED Talk, yeah, about how to inspire people to take action. And he came out what they call the golden circle. If you want your business to run professionally, you've got to understand this. And I'm going to spend some time guiding you through this. We have another half an hour. Hopefully, I can get you to think this, yeah? And then we'll break for questions and everything, okay? The golden circle. I made this for my business. It has made a huge difference in the way my team is so engaged in our vision right now. So I'm not teaching you something I haven't done, okay? I've done this as well. I'll give you an example. Apple versus IBM in the way they sell their products, okay? IBM says, we sell computers. This is the specifications of the screen. This is the specification of the internal software. It is user-friendly. It is high-tech. Do you want to buy one? Okay. This is how Apple does it. In everything we do, we get people to think differently. We do this through user-friendly design and high technology. By the way, we also have laptops, phones, pads. Would you like to buy one? It's a different feel. What's different about it? If you look at what's different about it, IBM starts with their product and maybe go down to the how. They start with the what. What do you sell? And then how is it different? Oh, it's high-tech, it's user-friendly, right? Apple starts with the why. In everything we do, we believe in the value of thinking different. This is our belief. If you don't like thinking different, don't buy an Apple, right? If you like to be boring, go buy something else, right? Apple is for people who think different. Our cables are white, not black. Do you ever notice, this is an aside, I don't know about you, but now when I buy cables for charging for anything, I pick the color white. It doesn't have to be an Apple cable. It could be a headphone, it could be anything. I start to perceive that white cables are better quality than black cables. Isn't that stupid? That's really silly, but isn't that smart? Yeah? Now they package everything white. Now it's like, ooh, black. Ooh, you're so cheap. Right? White is cool, right? So that's why. They start with a vision, you know? Our company is all about thinking differently. If you don't like to think differently, you shouldn't buy anything from our company. You shouldn't work in our company. Do you get it? This is the heart of our company. They don't talk about the products yet. How do we think differently? User interface. We only have one button. You know, it's super user-friendly. Great technology. Oh, by the way, we sell computers and laptops, and you want to buy one? See, your product is only the manifestation of your culture. But many people focus too much on clarifying this, you know? Okay, so as a company, let's take a look at some companies. So in a company, the why is our purpose. Why do you do what you do? And we'll talk about that later in the next slides. I want you to start thinking about that. Why does your company need to continue to live? What benefit does your company give to the community? What's so impactful about your company? What is meaningful about your company? Not just to the market, but also to the employees. You know, I was coaching a company in Thailand, and I believe that company needs to live on forever and ever. Why? Because the vision of the owner is not to save Thailand economy. It's not about that. He says he owns a specialty printing company, so hundreds and hundreds of employees, yeah? And they say, my vision for the company is that I want to develop people, and I want to take care of the hundreds of people that work for me. So my vision is if my company grows bigger, yeah, I'm going to set up a factory and some housing and maybe a school for my employees' kids. No, so he's not thinking of I'm gonna impact Thailand. It's just too big for him. For him, he just wants his couple of hundred people to live very well. And I'm going to teach them not just business, but about life. Fantastic. I tell you, his employees really, really like him. Okay? Employees are really like him. The why is not a problem. The how is your strategies. The what is your targets, your KPIs, your sales revenue targets, okay? But if you focus too much on trying to push people to achieve the what, maybe you already teach them the how. That's good. Some of you don't even do that, right? But very few of you are explaining your why. Very few of you are clear about your why, because maybe when you built this business, it was just to make you and your family rich. And that's okay at that time. That's why your family was all very supportive about it. But now the business is getting bigger. Now you got to think about other people and what they need. So why do you want to do what you do? See, great talents. See, if you just want mediocre talents, they'll just work for money. There's no need to have all this why stuff. Just give a good salary, they'll work for you. Give a good office, they'll work for you. But if they're millennials, people who are born, I see some millennial faces in the front row here, yeah? If you are born after 1981, my understanding is you also want to work for a company that has meaning and impact. When you build a company, it's not just for money, but it's also to create impact. Is that true? Young people in the room? Yes, yes, okay, I see some nodding. I'm not looking at the old people, looking at the young people, okay? So those are, what gets you inspired? Let's look at some of, I promised you some best practices. I'll give you 2 global companies and 1 local company who is going to be at least regional very, very soon. Starbucks, we all know Starbucks, yeah? Do you know the story of Starbucks? How many of you have read the story of Starbucks? So Starbucks, at the beginning, Starbucks just sold coffee in a bag, coffee beans. They didn't have cafes or anything like that, okay? So it was bought by Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz was an employee in Starbucks, and he bought the company from the owners. But let's talk about a little bit about Howard Schultz, because the culture of the company came from the founder, the owner, the second owner, which is Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz grew up in the 1940s, yeah? And at that time, industrial laws, you know, the way you treat employee was not very standard. You could do whatever you want, even in America, to your employees, okay? So in a cold winter morning, yeah, Howard's dad, who was a delivery truck driver, yeah, and you have to carry the goods in and out of the building, he He slipped on ice and he broke his hip. Okay? It was just a work accident. Okay? And what happened was, and his mom didn't work because in the 40s and everything, women stayed at home. And he broke his hip. And then so he remembered as a young boy, his father coming back with a hip broken. And after a couple of weeks, the company fired him. There was no workers' compensation. There's no extra care. There's no responsibility for the company. You broke your hip, even though it's in the job. They did not replace his medical bills, and they fired him. So he grew up with a family. The mom and dad was always arguing about money, because now mom has to go to work, right? Which is very uncommon. And mom became the backbone of the economy for the family, and that wasn't always very harmonious. So they always fought. So this is the world that Howard Schultz grew up in. So he said, one day when I grow up, I'm going to build a company that cares about its employees. So if you look at Starbucks, yes, it's the third home, right? But it is also all about being human. I don't know about you, but maybe I'm not sure because you have a lot of different brands for coffee houses here. But Starbucks is known for very personalized service. It was the very first shop that made you feel like if you buy coffee, you're like a human being. Even if you say, can I change the milk from full to low fat? Can I change it to soy milk? They'll do it. In other coffee houses before Starbucks, or even during the time that Starbucks got big, they just said, I only have one type of milk. Right? Even in the story of the book Starbucks, there was one lady who got her coffee, and then she slipped and fell in the shop, and the coffee was spilled all over the place. Now, in a normal coffee shop, they wouldn't care. You would just buy another cup. In Starbucks, they replaced her coffee free of charge. It wasn't their fault that she slipped. It wasn't like the floor was wet or anything. It was just because she slipped. Yeah? But Starbucks cared enough and became human enough. So they're human to us as the customer. They're also human to their employees. It's got one of the best employee benefits. Yeah? So, and it's about one person at a time, one cup at a time. Yeah? One neighborhood at a time. They want, if you look at in America, it could be a corner and they will have 4 Starbucks. Because they're so human, they don't want you to have to cross the street. It's too much trouble. Just come. Okay? So it's a very homey culture. That's the culture. Okay? Gojek is the largest technology company in Indonesia right now, except for Tokopedia. Tokopedia is the online marketplace mall. So those two. But Gojek by far has so much mission in it. It's incredible. As you know, in Indonesia, we have a lot of poor people. And many of them have, they have a motorcycle, so they hire their motorcycles out for rides, right? You have this here also in Vietnam because we use a lot of motorcycles. So around 8 years ago, I was interviewing for my TV show, I was interviewing this young man called Nadiem Makarim. And Nadiem used to work at McKinsey. He was a Harvard graduate, came from a very rich family, but he had this passion to give. So he just started Gojek about 8 years ago. And I was interviewing him because it was hot. It was just something different, you know. And I said, how did you get the idea for Gojek? And he said, well, in McKinsey office, if I have to go, as a consultant, if I have to go back and forth to my client's place, there's so much traffic in Jakarta. So if I take a cab, yeah, I will get there in a very slow time. I'll need an hour. But if I take a motorbike, yeah, I can get there in half an hour or 15 minutes. So I used to just take the ojek. Ojek is the Indonesian word for a motorbike driver that takes you around. And because he's a friendly guy, he talks to the ojek driver when they're riding, and he says, how many rides do you give a day? 2, 3, and he pays only maybe 20,000 rupiah per ride, you know? So it's like, every day you make 60,000, that's it. How many kids do you have? 4. You know, hey, we're a Muslim country. No, we just keep having kids. Okay? So, okay, so this is a need, right? So then he built a call center. He just built a call center. You have to call and you get an ojek driver to pick you up at the lobby, and that's it. So he didn't hire these ojek drivers. He just developed the call center, and then he registered drivers who wanted to be part of the network. That's how it started. It was a small office. It looks like a janitor broom closet, right? And it was very, very small, very, very simple. Now, if you look at the Gojek app, right, now they not only have drivers, but they also deliver food. They also, if you leave something at home, they can also pick it up, and it's called GoSend. GoSend will send it to your office or something like that. You can have your manicure, pedicure. All my manicure and pedicure are done at home now because it's called GoGlam. GoGlam is the app for manicure and pedicure, right? Go Massage, I can get my massage at home. Go Clean, so if my maids go out of town, so basically they can call in somebody, yeah. Go Med, if I need to buy medicine at a pharmacy, they'll go to a pharmacy for me. They'll pay for my medicine first, or I can pay it through the app, yeah. So they had a riot because the taxi drivers didn't like it, so we had a lot of demonstrations. So they worked together with the biggest taxi company, it's now Bluebird, Go Bluebird, so you can also call a taxi from their app, so they're all friends now, right? And then you'll have Go Tix, yeah, so if you want to buy movie tickets, if you want to buy workshop tickets, you can buy that online. You have, what else? Go Auto, that's my favorite. As a girl, I know nothing about cars, so I get someone to come to my house and change my oil and do tune-up in my home. Okay, because if you go in the street, sometimes it's dirty and you have no nice waiting place, so they come to my home, okay, to change my oil. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic. It's even better than all the apps that I've seen in Singapore, in the UK, and all that kind of stuff. In one app, you can do all that. This is the biggest company ever. Yeah, it's just gotten investment from Google and some big organizations in Indonesia. You might not be familiar. The biggest companies, trillions of dollars have been poured into this company as an investment. So if you're saying, how do I get an investor to invest in my company? Well, have a clear why. You know, Google is investing in this company. Astra, one of the biggest automotive company, is invested in this company. Last 3 months, they've fundraised about trillions of dollars. Okay. It's an amazing company. What's their why? To improve the welfare and livelihoods of workers in various informal sectors of Indonesia. So if you go to their office, there's always, you know, this is their corporate video. Their corporate video is not about Gojek. Their corporate video is about this man here, the driver. His name is Ahmad. He comes from Bekasi, a small village in Indonesia. He has elementary school education. He has 3 kids. And he drives motorcycles. He joined Gojek 6 months ago as our network of drivers. And now Ahmad knows how to use a computer, a mobile phone. And now Ahmad brings home 6 times the amount of income that he used to do before he joined our network. Now, here's Ahmad's kids. Ahmad's kids is going to this school. That's the why. You see? Now, we coach 20 of their chief executives, including the founder. These are our clients. Okay? When I get on my coaching call with their executives, one of the first things I ask them is, why do you work here? Every single one of their, this is the smartest people. They're graduating out of Harvard. They've all worked in McKinsey or whatever amazing consultant company. Yeah, they have been CEOs in various places. Yeah, they have started 2-3 startups per person. You know, some of them start, fail, whatever. Some of them have worked in the Silicon Valley. Many of them has worked in more than 3 countries in the world, and they're 33. Okay, these are young talents. These are Indonesia's cream of the crop. But they also have Indian expats. They also have French and American expats as well working. But the caliber of people, the caliber of talent is amazing, right? And they all say one thing: I work here because what I do makes a difference. I work here because this company is trying to do something for Indonesia. Is trying to do something, right? They work so hard. I do not want to work there. It is so hard. I mean, because, at my age, I'm like, I don't want to work that hard. But they work very, very hard. Because it's a technology company. You can imagine every day you have a new change. You have a new change. And then Uber is number 2 in Indonesia. No, actually, no. Gojek is number 1. Grab is number 2. Uber is number 3. This is how it works in Indonesia, okay? Grab, they try, but unfortunately Grab also cheats a lot to their drivers, so a lot of people are leaving Grab. Uber, it's an American company. They don't have any Indonesian mission, so I think this is still going to be the champion. Grab is a Malaysian company. They never market too much. Grab tries, to market a little bit about we love Indonesia, but this is a very Indonesian company, yeah? And it's going to open up in different countries as well. And I bet you they're going to carry the same vision. We are going to increase the economy of simple people in Vietnam, perhaps, right? And I'm sure they're going to get a lot more investors. See, people work for clear visions. Actioncoach, our vision is not to be the #1 business coaching company in the world. Yes, we are. Yes, we just won that award again in 2018. We're the best business coaching company in the world. But that's not our vision. Our vision is world abundance through business re-education. All the people in this room, you're smart people. You've had some kind of education. You've done a business maybe for 10, 20 years, 5 years, 3 years, and somehow your business is good. You don't have a problem. But if you want it to be better, it's not about educating you, it's about re-educating you with a different perspective. We're not better than you, we just see things in a different way, okay? So why do we need to grow your business? Why do we need to grow your business? Because our dream is that there will be less and less poverty in the world abundance. The world is going to be more abundant. We're going to help people make more money, but not just money, have more time with their children, have more time for their life. Yeah? Abundant here doesn't always mean money, but it's about time to enjoy your life, not just work all the time. Okay? We want businesses to flourish. We want businesses to go from one generation to the next generation, either being managed by the children or being managed by the managers. I don't care, but businesses, especially family businesses. I have a heart for family businesses. Because the statistics say the first 5 years in a business is the most critical time. 80% of businesses close in the first 5 years. That's a global statistics. In Indonesia, it's probably around 90%. Yeah, 90%, because we're less educated, and then people start businesses very quickly, but they also close them very quickly. Okay, so it's probably more than that. So if you look at a family business that has been in existence for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, sometimes 40 years, our oldest family business that we're coaching now is 53 years, right? If a business has been around for so long, it is somehow a good business. And if because of fighting or because of different culture, generation Y versus baby boomers, it closes, it makes us sad. Do you know what I mean? Because on the other hand, people who are just starting out, in 5 years, business is very critical. So if you are able to have your business run for 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, you're doing something very good. Let us just guide you to make it last even longer, okay? But back to this vision, World Abundance to Business Re-Education, improving the welfare of something in your country, you know, inspiring and being human to your employees and to your customers. These are visions that help these companies become big, right? So here's a question for you. Why should talents, clients, investors, suppliers, government people be inspired by you and your company? Why? Okay? I want you to think about that. Okay? Because if you cannot answer this, sometimes you're too busy asking, why aren't my people performing at 100%? Well, here's my question back to you. Why should they perform at 100%? What's so special about your company? What's so special about your vision? What's so special about you? If you were working for a boss like you, would you perform 100%? Some of you, your style of leadership is using your people. You're not nice to your people. Some of you hide things from your people. Some of you don't teach your people. Yeah? Why should people be loyal to you? Maybe if you were your own employees, you would be resigning right now. And if you are that type of leader, and trust me, I've had my failures as a leader as well, I want you to think about it, and I want you to go back tomorrow and thank your team because they haven't resigned yet. Okay? And then thank God today, just say, oh, thank you, my team is still there. Okay? All right? See, we got to stop thinking that business owners have more rights than other people. You know, ultimately, when I was turning around a business, it was a chemical business and a pest control business. And even though I was a senior manager at the time, part of the way I turned around the business was I did field work with them. I rode with them, and I made sure that they had what they need to do their job. Most of their cars were not air conditioned. It's dirty. The toolkit that we provided was too small. The bag was too small. They had to carry 2 bags. Their shoes needed to be changed. But nobody, you know, they didn't ask, and also HR didn't supply change, right? They were smelly because they had all this sweat, you know? But nobody had the initiative to give them 2 uniforms. The things like that, when you ride with these people, you understand that, you know, we work in an air-conditioned office, coffee, tea, everything supplied, right? But the real people that really do the hard work in our business are the people with the least benefits. Why? Okay? All right, so culture starts with you. Culture starts with seeing, how do I see my employees? We just had our management meeting before I flew here on Monday. Yeah, it's every second Monday is our management meeting. Or is it, yeah, third week on Mondays. And I open up my profit and loss. Guys, I had my finance manager said, first part of the management meeting, review our P&L. This is our revenue, this is our cost, this is our profits. And I said, go slow. I want you to explain every line. Everybody needs to know what you do makes this number go up or down, okay? So if we forget to turn off the air condition in the office, which line does that affect? Oh, that affects the operational cost. That goes up, okay? And we did something really, really good. We had some creative strategies. So I said, look at this. Remember the creative strategy that your colleague did, you know? That has resulted in 60 million revenue. 60 million rupiah of revenue last month because of that creativity. Congratulations. We give him applause. Okay? Not from you, but what I meant was in the meeting we give him applause in front of everybody. Yeah? Okay? Our finance manager just found out one cost. It cost us 900,000 rupiah a month because of some silly bank mistake, a bank fee. And he came up to me and says, we should stop this. And I said, oh wow, 900,000 a month. That's good. That's a couple of noodles, right? A couple of bowls of noodles there, right? And I said, okay, thank you. And again, I announced it in the meeting. This guy, David, has saved us 900,000 a month because of this. Again, we appreciate him. Okay? Because everybody understands how their decisions affect the bottom line. Why should you close your financial statements? Especially if you're not doing so well, open it up. It's everybody's problem. You know, my finance manager said, oh, we should keep it secret. Why? You give my financial statement to my competitor. What will they do? Oh, making this much profit. So what? We buy from the same supplier. You know? And if it's just a consolidated sale, so what? Think rationally, guys, not emotionally. Don't be so run by fear. Don't live with fear, right? So what? Okay? So think about this during the break, okay? And then we're going to keep going to how do you do it and talk about core values. But I think it's time for me to give you a 15-minute break, right? Yeah, I want you to think about your why during the break, and then we'll talk more. Yeah, we'll talk more. And of course, after the break, I'll give you some time for question and answers as well. Okay? Now, we have a little ritual in Action Coach. It's called the whoosh. Okay? Did you get something out of the first session today? Yes or no? Has it been interesting? Yes? Okay. So, what we do is we whoosh, right? So, everybody stand up. And it's a Tai Chi move to lock in all the good learning and throw away the old habits. Okay? So, everybody, please stand up. And on the count of 3, we're going to whoosh, right? So it goes like this. Left hand front, right hand back. And then when I say 1, 2, 3, we say whoosh, okay? And what it means is that you lock in the learning, you throw away the old habits, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, whoosh. I'll see you at 3:30.